Good morning, everyone. Here on Low Ridge Farm, it's really cold right now. Batteries aren't surviving. And we still have to do the chores. So, I have the GoPro with me, but I am not going to subject you guys to the GoPro audio again. I learned my lesson last year, about this time last year. So this mama decided at 2 in the morning to go ahead and have her lambs in about 14-degree weather just outside of the freezing winds. And fortunately, I was out there at that time checking for that exact thing. And lo and behold, there they were. All said and done, my wife and I did not get to bed until about 4:30 in the morning after getting her and the babies in the garage and getting that little pen set up for them. I tell you what, sometimes this is a labor of love. So, before we go out and check out the lambing jugs, I'm going to gather up some sweet feed to give to the sheep. This is just, kind of an energy supplement. Think of it as like an energy bar on a long hike. Trail mix, if you will. But it's sweet. It's simple, easy carbs for them to burn and produce their own heat. Keep them warm. Some supplemental feed like this, good dry hay, and a shelter that they can stay out of the wind and the weather. And you would be amazed the weather that sheep can endure. They are really hardy animals as long as you can keep them healthy. Doesn't that look appetizing? It's a winter wonderland. Times like this, you really appreciate what the pioneers had to go through. They didn't even have advanced warning that they would wake up to something like this. They just wake up and there's probably frost on their walls, and they just hoped and prayed that the animals were healthy. Look, guys, I know there's a pile of junk there. I have since cleaned it up. Come on, let's go. Isn't that fun? Funny thing about sheep is they act like they've never been fed in their lives. There they are, eating their little hearts out. So these small bowls I've got, these are for the mamas in the jugs or the lambing pens. Now, that's really going to be the focus of this video, is the lambing pens. You might have noticed that it's still snowing. And that's the great thing about keeping animals. It doesn't matter. It's snowing, storming, raining. You still have to get out there and take care of them. If you're tired, if you're sick. When my whole family had COVID, we were still out taking care of the animals. Let's see what we got here. There's a mama and her twins. They look so good. This arrangement for the lambing jugs is surprisingly effective and keeps them surprisingly warm. So here, I've got you guys propped up in here so you can see the process. Look, I know this looks rough. I'm as gentle as I can be, but in these cold weathers, these tiny little bodies, I want to make sure that they get some additional calories. So that's what I have there. It's an omega-3 fatty acid supplement, calories and vital omega-3s for their development. You don't have to do this. I just really want to give them the best start as possible. And just like other kids, they don't want to take their medicine either. These water bowls are having to be thawed. In these temperatures, they are freezing 3 or 4 times a day. So we just have to float them in the tank with the stock tank warmer. And you notice there's poop in there. Try real hard to not contaminate the main water source. And you just dump it outside. And then we scoop up water from the stock tank and take it back out there, giving the other one just enough time to thaw it out. That's one good thing about the winter. You don't get nearly as much algae growth as you do in the summer. You gotta bring those back in so we can bring them more later. We tuck her back in, give them protection from the wind. So around here, our prevailing winds come out of the south and head towards the north. When we're getting weather like this, they come out of the north and head towards the south. So typically, all of my structures are facing east to minimize the weather that comes in through the door. It's not a perfect strategy, but it does help, especially when you hang these wool blankets. They are surprisingly effective. So these are our lambing jugs. I'm pretty proud of this little insulation arrangement. So under these tarps, I have packing blankets to provide additional insulation in the ceiling. But wait, I also have wool blankets that serve as a bit of a curtain. They go about halfway down the roof. Now we have 2 of these tarps that wrap down around each side. You can see the junction right there. They wrap over each other. We have these bungee cords that pull down to the doors. Even with the doors open, as you can see, it works. Again, pull that down. And then I have these tie-outs on all 4 corners. Here, let me draw a diagram since you can't understand 4 corners. There we go. Good job. My brain might have been a little frozen. Obviously, I just use a bungee cord right there, go around through the eyelets. Since then, I've used an additional spring-loaded clip to tie up that slack. Down to each corner, pulling that tarp taut. This one proceeds under the other one, hooks up under there, and comes down to here. And then we have a similar arrangement over here. Slightly different, but it still works. And not only does it works well in high winds. You clamp that curtain down with a little clip like there, and there you go. Just keeping some spare hay dry there. And that works really well to keep the north wind out. It works pretty well. Mostly well, but it works. Gotta remember to take these in or else, man, it's a pain. You gotta come out, refill them, take them back. I'm an idiot. You probably know, probably shouting at me, that I'm a stupid idiot. Yeah. I got so excited about talking, I didn't get her any hay. She probably needs to eat. Yeah, good job. So this is the process to gather hay. This is not the process I would recommend. This is what we started doing because round bales in our area are considerably cheaper per cubic foot than square bales, small square bales. We're fortunate enough to have neighbors who will help us manage these big bales. Otherwise, we just roll them around. You've seen that in other videos. What I'm doing right now defines lambing season for us, and it's kind of a nightmare. Pulling that hay out one handful at a time, when you have 6 mamas in the jugs, it is, I won't say soul-crushing, but boy, it makes you question your decisions. I think this year was a breaking point. We're just going to buy small square bales because it's so much easier to pull a flake off of a square bale than this. Okay, now that we have our solid armload worth of hay, because remember, hay is for eating, straw is for bedding down in. So we open our curtain out, pull the deadbolt, and lay that in there for her to eat. And guys, that's one happy mama, as happy as weather will allow. Thanks for stopping by. Please support your local producers, oppose anything that inhibits your access to locally produced foods, and thanks for coming by, y'all.